Okay, as we continue our Super Bowl coverage, kind of preview heading into the Super Bowl, one thing that I always like to do is I like to look at it from an offensive standpoint on how I would attack the different defenses. So yesterday I looked at the 4 strong. That was one thing that I would do specifically against San Francisco because they play that balanced defense. All right, I'm going to look at San Francisco's defense again. I believe this guy right here, Fred Warner, is the best linebacker in the National Football League. He can do everything. He's got unbelievable instincts. And so I know if I'm playing against San Francisco, he's the key. He's the guy that I've got to be able to work against and be successful against if I'm going to be successful against this defense. So oftentimes when I play against great players, what I do is I figure out what their strength is. Fred Warner's strength is his instincts, his ability to read and understand what offenses are doing, decipher that, and then be able to cheat coverages because of it, okay? So yesterday I was talking about how San Francisco loves to play defenses where they have 2 underneath defenders to one side, okay? So with that, Fred Warner oftentimes goes with the back kind of to the strong side, and so he's the inside defender to that side. And so when you watch tape on him, the first thing that I would do is I would continually release my back right now. Free release him right now. Free release him with speed right now. Because when that happens, we have 1, 2, 3 receivers against the 1, 2 defenders. And so this is where Fred is so good, but this is how I would try to use his strengths against me. He understands when this back comes out and free releases, there's only so many things that guy can do, and usually he's going to the flat area. Okay, so with that, Fred sees it, understands it, and he wants to match, knowing that as soon as the back goes to the flat, the outside linebacker has to get to the flat to cover him. So now there's a voided area in between those linebackers, and Fred has to kind of cheat that. Okay, so I'm going to use that against him. I'm going to get my back out with speed. Okay, get my back out with speed. What happens? This guy widens. Now look at this window right here to attack Fred Warner. Now he's great. He's reading Joe Burrow's eyes. He's trying to guess where Joe's going to go. He's trying to read his body language and go where he's going to go. But for me, I'm going to isolate Fred Warner. Now it sounds crazy. Isolate their best player. But he is going to be aggressive with different things because of his instincts. So right here, you see it? There it is. As we turn, what's he do? He's trying to guess and match to this back. And if he throws it there, he's going to go get him and tackle him. But we're going to wrap this back behind him and use those strengths, his eyes, his instincts against him, and we get a big play. So here we go once again. Okay, we're going to end up motioning our back and getting him out quicker, which I really like because it puts the pressure. But 1, 2, once again on Fred Warner. So we're going to motion him. Okay, what's he going to do? We're going to isolate him right here because you see, once we get outside, this guy goes wide. So to me, I'm going to push up and I'm going to run a curl right here. So now Fred Warner has to make a decision because they're running a curl and then they're coming back with a shallow. So we're going to use Fred Warner's instincts against him. If he pushes through to the curl, boom, I'm replacing with the shallow. If he holds inside on the shallow, I know that I've widened this defender because I've free released my back. Now I'm going to take the curl right behind him. So we're going to isolate him right there. And you see, we put him in a bind. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? Because of that free release of the back, we create all kinds of space there to the front side. Now there's pressure. We got to throw it away. But you're going to keep seeing this over and over again. Free release the back. This guy widens. Now we run a hook and an in, and we isolate Fred Warner. And what are we going to do? He's sitting there. He's waiting. Now he's going to jump the underneath. Boom. We get the in up over the top of him. But this is going to be a theme when I play against him. What are we doing? Free release the back. What's this guy doing? He's flying over to it. Now it's the instincts of Fred Warner. What are you going to do? You're going to hold inside? If so, I'm going to hit the hook. If you're going to fly to the hook, I'm going to hit over the top of you. Now they throw it to the backside. Don't look at that. Look at the front side. Look at Fred Warner jump. What do we got? We got a huge window inside. We overload them again. Kind of like the idea of the 4 strong. We're trying to overload those 2 defenders to the front side, but we're going to do it with just 3 guys now. And the key is free release the back to get this linebacker to fly out of there and cover him. And then we're going to use the instincts of Fred Warner against him the best we can. He's good. He's one of the best in the league, so he's not going to make it easy. But that seems to be a key. With his instincts, he's going to read this back. When that back pushes through, he's going to push through. He's going to push through and try to take away, understanding the void, right? That's where great players are so great. They understand the weakness of the defense. They understand when you free release the back that this guy has to go with them. And Fred understands, okay, then if you're going to get that guy to go, a lot of times you're going to hit back behind it. So I've got to go and cover for that. So you see it right here. He pushes through. He pushes through. Okay, so now there's a couple different ways, right? If you're running a curl with the swing, okay, isolate this guy first, try to get this guy to go wide, but then off of Fred, if he's going to push through to the curl, we're going to replace with the shallow. Or just envision this, because again, this isn't what I would do. What I would do is I would push this guy in here and hook him, this guy on a curl, and this guy on a swing. So again, we're keeping 3 guys to the strong side. We're free releasing the back to try to put this guy out there wide and then isolate Fred Warner. What are you going to do? You're going to hold inside on the hook. You're going to push through to the curl. I'm going to work opposite of that, and I'm going to get a play. So I'm going to keep those 3 guys strong, but here, right, he's pushing through. We're going to hit the shallow right behind it. Not a good throw and catch right there, but you see the idea. Same here. We're going to free release the back. Free release the back. Okay, now Fred Warner, again, looking at Dak Prescott's eyes, so he doesn't push through as much, but that's what they're running on this particular play. So you get him to hold inside. There you go. You get your advantage to the front side with 3-on-2. This time, we didn't get the push through as much to Zeke. This is a year ago. I can kick it out to Zeke here. But most times when you free release that back, you cheat it, right? I would cheat it as we saw. Motion him. Get him out there, because the sooner you motion him, the sooner this guy has to match to him to get leverage. Now we can isolate the inside linebacker, even though it's the best inside linebacker in the league. His instincts will take over, and he'll start jumping stuff and be aggressive to stuff or pushing through to stuff because he knows that he's got to guess and try to guess right because they are overloaded to that side. And then down in the red zone, they have great confidence in him, but down in the red zone, they like to play shell coverage again. Okay, so it's shell, 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 and it leaves Fred Warner isolated in the middle. Again, because they have great confidence in him. They believe in him. They think he can cover anybody, so they will isolate him down the middle. To me, if you're playing against them as you get down into the red zone, then you want to try to take advantage of that and see if you can work him down there and get him one-on-one. So they're going to do a great job here with the Lions because they're playing quarters back behind it. When number 2 goes to the flat, it engages the safeties outside. So now I'm going to get one-on-one with my back on Fred Warner. Here they're going to do a little hint route and then run the middle. You see right here, we get what we want. We get safeties to turn out, Here's our isolation. Okay, now can you beat Fred Warner? He's looking with his eyes. He's trying to read through to the quarterback. You're going to throw it quick so I can jump it. Here, they stutter him and they go up over the top and just don't make the throw, but they got the opportunity there for the touchdown. Okay, as you get down tighter, they're going to run to the shell coverage again. And what they're going to do is they're going to ask Fred Warner to play the middle. So he's got to play high and low to the middle. So another way to attack him is to put a guy high and a guy low. So don't worry about where the ball's being thrown. Read it back here. Fred Warner carries. There's a replace inside and the chance to isolate them. So they get the shell coverage down here and they want to play sort of a 4 Tampa, meaning Tampa is letting the middle linebacker know he's got to cover all the way to the middle of the field on the deep end if somebody goes to the middle. So that's where I can get my high-low against Fred Warner. Had a chance there. One more here with the Cardinals, and you're going to see the same thing. It's the shell coverage with the Tampa behind it. Okay, so shell here. 1, 2, 3, 4, playing quarters, but they're playing to the outside, taking the outside away. Fred Warner is responsible for the middle and the underneath. So let's attack both of them. Boom, there we go, right there. We got the high-low. Now they're trying to jump it from the outside and take it away, but you ready? Put the ball on the underneath guy because Fred Warner carries, and there's our chance for the touchdown. So as good as Fred Warner is, if I'm going into this game, I am going to find ways to utilize his strengths and his instincts against him because I believe based on the structure of their defense that it puts a lot of pressure on 54, whether it's out in the field, buzz to the flat. Now he's got to cover all the way from the ball to that hook area. It's a lot of room to cover, so he's got to be aggressive and guess. Or you get down to the red zone, they're asking him to do a lot to cover under and over all the way to the back end line when they're playing this 4 Tampa type look.